Happy Monday, Shred Nation. It is Rob Pearson. I am so excited to bring you your March Surge. It is the end of the month, March 27th, 2017, and I am so excited for tonight's call because we have four amazing women who are going to be sharing some really great information with you that you can really put into practice, work on yourself, work on your business, work on expanding your network, and helping people. And that's what we are here for, right? So the themes of today is really consistency and authenticity. And I think it's so beautiful that they rhyme. Well, I think they rhyme, right? I guess technically depends on what your definition of rhyming is, but they rhyme and they're powerful and they really, really will translate into growth in your business and growth in the people who you're able to help and people who you're able to impact. So what we're going to do along with the theme of authenticity and consistency is really break down the vital behaviors. So we're going to be talking about inviting. We're going to be talking about being a product of the product. We're going to talk about personal development. We're going to talk about recognition and how those, when done authentically and naturally, can really create a well-rounded business that has an impact for you, for your family, and for the people who you work with. So what you may notice with the vital behaviors is there may be things that you've heard people say before because these are the foundations of what successful coaches do. So you may have heard someone talking about inviting. You may have heard someone talk about how important personal development is. And the reason why you hear this theme over and over is because every successful coach uses these as their foundation, and it works. You know, so I think it's really important that you remember that doing these things will help you grow your business. There are all these other things that people try to shortcut and maybe be super creative and artsy instead of focusing on those basics. Now, you can do those things along with those foundationals, but if you do the things that these four women share tonight, you will build a successful business, okay? So my challenge for you tonight is to find something that you can implement, something that you can take action on, and take action. We have 4 days left in the month of March, and this is a really great opportunity to reach whatever goal you haven't this month and really set the table and the foundation for what you are going to do in April and beyond. Because after April, guess what? It's gonna be May. Sorry, I had to do it. Okay, so starting off tonight, our first speaker is Sami Glonek. I am so excited to hear from her. She is a lover of all things Nike, so she and I share that in common. She signed up to be a coach in June of 2014. She is a 4-star diamond coach. She was a 2016 premier coach, which is fantastic. She has hit Success Club for 22 months in a row. She is 2 months away, and she committed to us before the call that she is going to be a Success Club legend in 2 months. So I would like to introduce to you Sami Glonek. Sami, take it away.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much for having me on The Surge tonight. If you guys are unaware, my name is Sami Glonek, and I am one of Jamie Innes's coaches, who actually is my older sister, biological sister. Everyone always asks. So I've been coaching for about 2.5 years now, and I'm also finishing my master's in health science. So instead of having a full-time job, I am a full-time grad student while writing a thesis. So I'm super excited for what I'm going to talk to you about tonight because this is something that I feel like is so important to building a team. Something you've definitely heard before, but hopefully I can say it in a different way that's going to speak to you. I want you to help yourself build a team of like-minded individuals. So later on, you're going to dive into a little bit more about understanding how to properly brand yourself and speak towards your ideal prospects. So throughout the whole night, you'll start to learn how to be true to you, your team, and your brand. But with that information, how do you capture that ideal prospect to not only want to join you, but to need to join you? For them to open up them into your coaching lifestyle with no hesitation. You want your prospects running into your coaching arms so hard that it just makes total sense. You don't want to have to shove or sell on people. You want to serve and save on people. How? Inviting. This word and this vital behavior is something that is probably the scariest for coaches, especially because it's the first one. They say it's the most important. You hear, go do reach outs, go do 5 invites and add people to your network. You'll hear it on almost every team call. It's something that seems so foreign that coaches don't even want to start doing it. Especially if you're a new coach and you hear your coach tell you that you need to go invite people to your network, that's terrifying. You don't want to be a salesperson, and you don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. You don't want to just be that brand new coach that blows up on Facebook and tells everyone to buy Shakeology. You don't want to just add 1,000 people from high school and college and all these people you don't really want to talk to just so that you can build a team. But on the other hand, to not invite people to join you is selling. But in this case, it's selling yourself short. You are letting yourself make excuses that are vital to start building a team. So instead of inviting, let's call it vital inviting, because that's what it is. In order to build a business, it is vital to invite. So vital inviting it is. If you have read and actually implement the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, Gary Vee mentions about how to build an effective audience, which is something that you need to do before you start inviting or alongside so. You need to follow the law that content is good, but context is everything. You are not going to be as successful with inviting if you're just throwing up anything and everything on social media just to post. Amy Rada taught me once that with our followers and future followers, it will take 5 seconds of looking at your profile, whether it is on Instagram or Facebook, and decide whether or not you are worth following. Because if you are not worth following, you're not going to be running into your coaching arms, and it won't make sense to them. If I were to ask you what your 3 favorite parts of Beachbody were, what would you say? Is it the team? Is it the accountability? Is it the trips? Is it the team calls? Maybe it's your upline coach. Maybe finally feeling like you belong. Maybe you finally beat your old eating disorder. Maybe you're finally losing weight. What is it to you? So you need to know those 3 things. And if you don't know them now, totally fine, but you should know by the end of tonight. Once you can pinpoint what you love about Beachbody, if I were to go on your social media platforms, any of them, would I see those things? Are they trickled in once in a blue moon? Do you show your followers why you love what you do and what they could be missing out in their lives? If you aren't sharing it, you are selling it, and you're selling yourself short. You can go out there and message 100 people tonight with the, hey girl, or if you're a guy, hey dude, message. We've all heard it. You can tell these people that they inspire you, how you love their dog, or whatever you say in their initial reach out. But what that person is doing after they read your initial reach out is going to your profile and scanning it, just as you did to them. They are searching for what makes it worthwhile to talk to you, because that's how people are. Every person does that in their life. Do you have call to actions to show them that they can actually join you? Does that person feel invited? Do you show up every single day so that they know that you would hold them accountable to do the same? Do those 3 favorite things that you mentioned about Beachbody show in your profile so they know why you love what you do? Vital inviting is not about hitting a check mark on your business activity tracker so that you can send your coach proof that you did reach outs. It's not about making sure that you aren't falling behind as a coach. Vital means life. Vital inviting literally means life inviting. Are you doing that? Are you showing how you and your husband work out together? Or that you got your workout in before or after work or school? Are you showing that you're getting great results with these programs by constantly sticking to them? Constantly meaning, are you going between 3 different programs doing whatever works at the time? Are you showing up every 3 days? Do you place stock photos just because you haven't posted? Or did you miss 3 weeks without call to actions? Or maybe you're one of those coaches that went away for a few days, came back with a call to action, and you were upset because nobody joined your free group or challenge group. That is not vital inviting. That's just letting your excuses get in the way. Would you want a coach that went away for a few days just to come back when it was convenient for them? Life is busy, guys. We're all busy. I hear so many coaches talk about why they haven't done reach outs or they haven't posted in a few days because they were busy. I would be willing to bet a lot of money that every single person on this call is busy, but you made it a priority. You can't let your job, your anxiety, your depression, your vacations, etc. get in the way of what you want. Because if you do, you don't really want it bad enough. When I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago with a kidney stone, I used that to power my business. I could have went away from social media because I was in the hospital, but I showed people I was still there for them, even when I was out of commission for myself. I'm not saying that I have it mastered by any means at all. What I'm saying is that I know I want it badly enough and that no excuse is too great. I knew vital inviting was vital to my business and my life. Being authentic and inviting just means to share your life. What does a day in your life mean to you? If you had to describe an average day, what would it entail? Your followers need to see that, but show also the highlights, the downfalls, and why you chose this lifestyle out of all the other lifestyles out there. A vital invite is actually in your posts. It's in your words and in the context. Remember, context is everything. That's what makes it great. Yes, your personal reach outs are very crucial, and so are those personal invites. But they need to make sure that you are showing up every single day, not only for them, but for you. You need to stay true to what you want. I wish I could tell you there was a magic pill to inviting and that there was a perfect message that I could tell you to send to your prospects and your potential challengers. But when you start sharing what makes you, you, people are going to want to join you, not because they really just want to, but because they need to join you. Vital inviting is not something to be taken lightly. Ask yourself before you post, whether it is on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you use, does this share my life? Does this resemble my team that I want to build or will build if you haven't built a team already? What if one of my coaches posted this? How would I feel? Is this life inviting? Or is this just a post to check a box? If you do this flawlessly, when you do your hey dude or hey girl message, they're going to find your profile and you're going to build your tribe. And that invite then turns into a vital invite, and you build relationships, and even more so, friends who become coaches. Coaches always ask us what Beachbody has done for our lives and our positivity. It's emotional because what we do is real. All I'm saying is that when you start life inviting, it becomes less of that shove or sell mindset and more of a serve and save mindset. So thank you so much for hearing me out. Next, we have 2-star diamond coach, Anna Locke. She signed up in February 2014 and is a all-star legend. She's amazing. She is currently someone I met at New Leader Conference a couple months ago, and honestly, she has this business down to a science. So she is talking about something she does insanely amazing, and that is sharing your story in an authentic way.
Thank you, Sammy. You are amazing too. I hope that you guys can see and hear me okay. I had to move to my living room floor because my Wi-Fi has been a little sketch lately. For those of you who live in Chicago and have Comcast, they're the evil empire. But anyway, that was an amazing setup, a perfect setup. Thank you so much, Sammy, because I am going to talk about sharing your authentic story to be a magnet for your tribe. So now we know that vital inviting is so important, but you might be thinking, okay, well, that sounds great. All these coaches have, are so amazing, but what about me? What do I have to share? And so right now we're going to dig into that, and I'm going to help you dig into your life experiences and figure out how you can share your story in a way that will connect and attract your dream team to you. Because let's face it, inviting is something that I personally struggle with a lot, especially as an introvert. And it is when the coaches on the National Wake Up Call say that inviting is the bread and butter of our business, they are not lying, you guys. This is, I guess, I would say my least favorite vital behavior, but you can do all the personal development in the world, and you can do all of the workouts in the world, and you can have the perfect body. But if you're not putting yourself out there and connecting with people and inviting them to join you in your business, you don't have a business. So something that I do believe I have down to a science. I do have a background in science, maybe that helps too, but I do have this attraction marketing thing down. And yes, it is important to constantly be going out there and connecting with people, sending messages, but at the same time, you can be posting and sharing your story in a way that will attract people to you like a magnet, so that as you're going out there and connecting with people, people are also coming to you, and you are building this attraction marketing machine. And so it all comes down to sharing your story, you guys, and just putting yourself out there and having the courage to be more visible. So your story is all of your life experiences that have gotten you to this point today. So it's the miles that you've already run. The amazing thing is you don't have to change. You don't have to learn more. You don't have to have more experience. You don't have to be better. You are already good enough to attract your dream team to you right now based on who you already are. You've already done the work. You've already lived through so much. And your story, your authentic, true story is what sets you apart as a coach and what makes you unique. So in a sea of 500,000 Beachbody coaches, guess what? You have no competition. There's no competition because there's only one you. And there are people out there in this world who are only going to resonate with you, and they're only going to want to work with you out of all the other coaches and sign up with you because they'll resonate with your story. And so if you're not sharing your story and you're not taking ownership of who you are and what's gotten you to this point, you're leaving all those people hanging, and you are leaving them without help, without hope, without this opportunity that has been such a gift to your life. So it does take courage to put yourself out there, but I'm going to run you through what I'm calling my 3-step process to sharing your authentic story. So we're throwing this buzzword authenticity around. And so I just want to start by explaining what it means. So sharing your authentic story does not mean airing your dirty laundry. It does not mean sharing intimate details of your life that involve other people. And it does not mean ripping the bandage off of a wound or a vulnerability or an issue that you're currently going through that's still healing. This is very, very important. And so make sure you're fully healed and that story is fully healed before you share something vulnerable. And in order to tell whether or not you're ready to share a story, I like to do something called the hater test. So if you posted this story and a hater came out to you on social media and criticized you for it, would it wreck you? And would it completely throw you off? Or would you be okay because you would be able to see that that's just them and you're standing in your truth and you have completely healed? So just keep that in mind when you're going to share something vulnerable. So what authenticity is? Authenticity is accepting yourself. You don't have to love all parts of yourself, but you do need to accept all parts of yourself. 100% accept yourself for who you are right now in this moment, the good and the bad. We are always growing, we're always changing, we're always evolving, and we always want to get a little farther down this path of life or this journey of coaching, right? But you need to accept that where you are right now is good enough for where you are right now. You need to unapologetically and courageously own your story. And you need to use your unique story and your gifts and your strengths and your quirks and your personality to connect with other people and show them that they aren't alone. So that is my definition of what it means to be authentic. So sharing your story, I have this 3-step process that I call the write, spin, share process. I'm going to run you through it super, super fast. And so the first step is to write your story. So you need to be creating like a little, almost like an autobiography. And I love Google Docs for this, or Microsoft OneNote or Evernote, or just like something that's in the cloud. So create a database of nuggets and of breadcrumbs and of little snippets of your life that you can share on social media. So how to write your story. So if you just Google is your BFF, but just Google how to share your story and you're going to find a lot of different ways. But some questions, I love journal prompts. I love asking questions like, why did you sign up to be a coach? What were you looking for? How has this opportunity changed you? What lessons have you learned? What experiences and achievements make you amazing? What have you overcome to get here? What are the top defining moments of your life, big or small? What are you passionate about? What lights you up? What are you curious about? What lessons are you learning in life right now? And that's like the deep stuff, right? But you can also share the shallow stuff, like what reality TV show are you obsessed with right now? Where did you get your clothes? How did you decorate your house? If you're pregnant or have a baby, oh my God, that's like the mother load of information to share. But just like start writing little nuggets and breadcrumbs of your story that makes you you, and have a database of that. So the second step is to spin your story, because we're not just writing our autobiographies, we are building a business, right? And so you need to share your story in a way that is going to connect and resonate with people and draw them in. So ask yourself, who do you want to attract into your team? What kind of coaches do you want to work with? You have to think, you guys, like, who are the people that you want to be hanging out with, traveling the world on Success Club trips and raising your family with? Like, your team and your coaches is your family that you get to choose. So, like, choose wisely, right? You're in control. It's so freaking awesome. But who are these people? What are their qualities? What are their interests? What's their personality traits? What are their quirks? And is this person the old you? And be very careful when you're sharing your story, and be very intentional, because you might not want to be attracting the old you. It's like, do you want to be sharing a version of your story from 5 years ago? Or maybe you just want to be attracting the old you from 1 year ago or 2 years ago. But be very intentional, because if you have overcome a lot in life, then you don't necessarily want to be attracting people who need therapy, right? I'll just leave that there. So think about who you want to attract, and then which of your stories those people are going to relate to. And then when you're writing these little Facebook blurbs, what's the message or takeaway that you want them to know? And if it's a struggle, like there was a national wake-up call last week about this that was great, and she reminded us, it's okay to share the struggles, but always put a silver lining on it, because as coaches, we're here to share positivity and show people how to live healthier and happier, more positive lives. And then always end each story you share with a call to action. So what do you want people to do? This is something I'm currently practicing, because it's easy to just like share this inspirational post, but challenge people or prompt them to do something, whether that is or comment below, or click here to join my group, or click here or message me to learn more, like based on what you're promoting at the time, whether that is your free group or a challenge group, or maybe just inviting someone to follow you somewhere else. Always kind of be moving people closer and closer into your vortex of awesome business. And so finally, the last step, so we're going to write your stories, you're going to spin your stories, and you're going to share your stories. And it's very important to know where to share each story for maximum impact. And so think about which social media platforms you want to use. So where are your people hanging out? You don't have to be everywhere. That is just going to drain your energy. So pick 2 or 3 social media platforms where your dream team is hanging out, whether that is Facebook page, Instagram, Snapchat. I also love having a blog, just because a blog is what we call evergreen content. And evergreen means it's always there. So Facebook and Instagram, very important to have a presence, but there's a news feed, right? And so your posts are going to get lost in the feed, and people can't search for your posts. So I recommend like fleshing out like a longer like blog post kind of story, and then breaking it down into smaller little social media chunks. This is just like a content creation tip, so you're not reinventing the wheel every day. And then post like the big full story on your blog with lots of juicy keywords and a good, pretty Pinterest photo that you can make on Canva to put on Pinterest. So people will constantly be finding your blog. And then you can also use that post to break it down into smaller social media posts too. So think about location, and then also think about your audience and ask yourself, okay, like who has actually earned the right to hear this story. So is this something that is so vulnerable you just want to share it with your team or with your challenge groups? It's really cool we have these private groups because we can be more vulnerable, because the people in our challenge groups and our coaches, they've earned the right to get to know us at a deeper level. So there's things you can share inside your private groups that are more vulnerable than things you would just like share on your public Facebook wall. So is it something you want to share to your warm market, to your cold market? But just like think about yourself and judge where your comfort level is and push yourself a little bit to the edge of the comfort level. But, you know, you don't want to like I said, air your dirty laundry to people who haven't earned the right to hear this story. So just remember, you guys, that sharing your story, the more you share, it's going to set you free. It's going to give you so much confidence, and it's going to allow you to connect with the people here on earth that you are meant to serve and you are meant to have in your life. And so my challenge for you right now is to take action. So as soon as this call is over, if you guys, after a call, I'm always like high on Beachbody energy, but, you know, take some time tonight or tomorrow to start brainstorming some stories and answer some of the prompts that I shared, and then start sharing your story. And if you're scared and if you feel nervous about sharing something vulnerable, remember, you can post it in the boardroom. You can post it on your team page for some love and support before you share it publicly. But just go for it. You're going to feel vulnerable. You might have a vulnerability hangover the next day. If you are a more sensitive person or a perfectionist or an introvert, I recommend checking out Brené Brown's books, any of them. Brené Brown, it's like Brene Brown. She's an amazing personal development author that I love. But you guys, the world needs your story. So get out there, start sharing it, and start shining. And don't be afraid to put yourself on a bigger platform, because you are going to change your own life and so many other people's lives too. So that's all I got. Hopefully I didn't go too far over. I love to talk. But next up, we have our fearless leader, Chelsea, who is a lifetime 8-star diamond. She's been a coach since August of 2011. She's a 2-time elite coach and a Success Club 5 legend. She's hit Success Club 5 38 months in a row. This woman leads from the front. She needs no further introduction, because I know if you're watching this, she has impacted your life. So Chelsea, are you on?
Hello. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the introduction. And Anna, thank you so much I was trying to balance prepping what I was going to say and taking notes, and that can be a very challenging thing. So for those of you guys that know me and know Anna, as we were prepping for this call, we wanted to talk about authenticity, and we also wanted to structure it, if you haven't already sort of picked up, based on the vital behaviors. And for me to take on the behavior of personal development when Anna's on the call, for me, that was like, oh my gosh, you know, Anna is the queen of PD. She's somebody that I look to and admire for being so self-aware, and for all of her incredible recommendations and insights. So I'm excited to tackle this and switch things up and hopefully do Anna proud. So what I want to talk about today is personal development and how critical it is. And I think that no matter where you are in your business, you've probably heard about PD. Sometimes it can be very on the surface, and it's about habits or time management or just feeling good. But there are also times in your business and your life when personal development has to get personal. And I'm speaking from personal experience, as the last 6 to 8 weeks of my life have been incredibly challenging. I am in a depression right now. It's been a real struggle, but because of the life that I've led, and you guys and so many incredible friends and teammates and my husband, I know without a shadow of a doubt that even though there is a little bit of a cloud right now, that this is going to be a breakthrough, leading me toward an even more robust story, so I can reach different people, new people, in an incredibly new way. But most importantly, I'm learning that when there is resistance like this in our life, when we've met that place where we have to stop and really look at how we're living or how we're thinking or how life is affecting us or how we're operating or how we're reacting or what scares us, it is literally putting us face to face with our boundaries and our comfort zones, and it's forcing us to change. And I'm grateful for that change. And so I would encourage you guys, when you feel that resistance and you feel that those butterflies or maybe that anxiety, as long as you know that you are safe and this is pushing you in the direction toward positive change, take that as confirmation that you are fully living and you are fully growing. So here are 3 truths about personal development that I wanted to share with you. And I know that a lot of you guys are still, just starting out, or maybe you aren't full-time coaches yet. This is a part-time income for you. And a question that I get all the time is, well, what if Beachbody goes away? Or, what if this is just wasted time? What about my professional career? Or, what am I going to put on a resume? And so my first truth that I want to share with you guys is I will never risk wasting time because I spent that time growing myself. And inviting, like Sami had talked about, is the bread and butter. Anna talked about it too, the bread and butter of our business. It's what gets people in, sharing our results, sharing the story, actually having a team, customers to coach. But personal development is that behavior that you could probably get away with not doing or phoning in for a little while, but you don't necessarily see the fruits of it right away. And what I've learned in the personal development that I've done, and I'm sure that you feel the same way, is that the things that we learn when it comes to confidence and time management and self-awareness and self-care and leadership, all of these things we could take to any career that does not require a specific professional skill set and be a better employee or be a better manager or be a better supervisor or specialist or whatever it is that we do. And so to know that this time that we spend on personal development not only affects our Beachbody business, our presence online, our family, our marriages, but potentially future careers or other careers that we're involved in, our kids, all of this work it's double time, it's triple time. And while taking 15 minutes, as a little bit of a casual side note, whenever I sit down to do heavy personal development or I'm really into a book, I'll look at Robb from across the room and I'll say, I'm working, I swear. I'm in the zone. I kind of want to do another hour of this. This is so good. This is what I need right now. And he looks at me and he's like, you don't have to say that. But I think that's just further evidence that sometimes we feel like personal development isn't work. Sometimes we feel like we have to justify doing more and more and more of that. But what I've found is that the person that I am when I come back from that is so much more productive and effective. And that doesn't just count in our coaching businesses, but it counts in every area of our life. The truth is that I will leave Beachbody a better person. And again, this is all based on if I think that scarcity mentality that we hear from our coworkers or our well-meaning friends or our family, like, you want to do this full time? Well, what happens if this doesn't last? And the answer is, whether it lasts or it doesn't last, I will leave Beachbody, or I will stay with Beachbody, a better person with a padded resume because of PD, because of the leadership skills that we have, the communication skills that we develop, the marketing that we figure out along the way, the things we learn about our past and the bruises and the traumas that we've been through and the breakthroughs that we experience. And then the third thing is, as I grow, I just realized I have cilantro in my teeth. As I grow, I will become better. As I become better, I will attract better. And as I attract better, my business grows. So we've talked about that. Actually, Bob Heilig talked about this, and we've heard it a couple different ways in the past month. But it's not about going out and looking for the dream challenger or the dream coach. It's about going out there and becoming that. And so many of you guys were so generous. I posted in the boardroom a few minutes back about asking, what do you guys look for? What do you look for in a dream customer or coach? And the responses were pretty awesome. Consistency, confidence, humility, someone who is engaged and involved. Positivity, they're coachable. They're craving positive change. They have determination. They're hardworking. They're a self-starter or a go-getter. They're driven. They have belief in themselves and what is possible. They are passionate. I mean, every single one of you guys can go back into the boardroom and just make a list of the comment section and see all of those different attributes. And it's amazing because, at least for me, when I look at this list, I say to myself, well, I could be more consistent and more confident, and I could use a little bit more humility, and I could be more engaged and more positive and more coachable, and I could crave some more positive change versus being so resistant to it. I could have some more determination. I could be more hardworking. I could be more of a go-getter. I could be more driven. I could believe in myself and, just like take the lid off of things and believe what is possible a little bit more. I could be more passionate. And this is such a different take on what Anna was sharing before, because this doesn't take away from the truth that she said, that right now you are enough. Right now your story is qualified. Where you are, what you have to share is it. It is incredible, and it is everything that you need to be, and that's all that people need from you. A glimpse of what it's like to make a change and live a healthy, fulfilling life where you are. But what's amazing is that we all have a pulse, and we all have proven to ourselves, if you signed up yesterday or you signed up 4 years ago, that you have proven to yourself that you can grow and you can change for the better. And so in looking at that list, just right now, I'm saying to myself, I can do all of those things. I can be better for me. The competition is against me. And as I get better, I attract better. As I attract better, I bring on customers who are going to become coaches, who are going to go on and exponentially be a multiplier ripple effect, because I can't do it all, but together we can do it all. We can reach everybody, but we can't do it alone. So as we level up and as we grow, we can bring on other people who can link arms with us and multiply, be fruitful. And it's a really empowering thing to know that that's on the line, that as I grow, I encourage my team to grow. And that's why we can't phone in personal development. So, what I want to share with you guys is 10 things that we've got to give up to move forward. And before I share that, I'm going to share with you a story that you have all earned. I can't even tell you how perfectly I was set up for sharing this. And there was parts of me that were a little bit scared to share this, but I have had this story. I've had this story choking me up in the back of my throat for years. And I knew that I was called to share this story, because I think that we all have traumas in our lives, and we have things that are stopping us from being our best selves. And it's not our fault. It's not our fault that we went through them. It's not our fault that they happened to us. And we get to decide whether they happen to us or they happen for us. And so this is in live in color, this thing happening for me. And in the last few weeks, I've really been struggling with direct communication. For me, I just, for the last, probably 7 or 8 years of my life, maybe even decade, I've struggled with confrontation. And I've been incredibly avoidant of negative feelings, where some people can just say to people, this is what I need, this is how it is. And, they stand up for themselves. I suffer from a disease to please. And this is where personal development gets personal. So if you struggle with the disease to please, I highly recommend looking up on Amazon the book Disease to Please, because I am 2 chapters in and it has completely changed my life. It's a really heavy book written by a UCLA professor and psychiatrist, and it's sold millions of copies, but it really truly has changed my life and will continue to change my life. And sometimes when we avoid fixing things or addressing things. We sweep them under the rug. We just, acknowledge them as a habit or whatever it may be. That lesson comes back and it finds you. And for me, that was, I had a fear of standing up for myself. And I had a fear of to the people that I love, the people closest to me, addressing my needs, putting my needs first. You guys out there that feel that way, especially if you're a parent or you're married or you lead a team, very often it's leaders eat last, or moms eat last, or whatever it may be. And so part of personal development for me has been going to therapy, because as a leader of a team of 7,000, as somebody that can potentially have 20, 30 messages a day in their inbox from just tons of people all the time, when you operate without boundaries, when you operate without having to address your own needs, circumstances around you magnify the issue, and you have to address it, and you're put face to face with it. And I got to a point where I was incredibly crippled by the fact that I was dismissing my needs and my self-care, and I was putting everyone first, to the point where my body literally started to slow down. I was afraid to say no. I was afraid to let people down, or to say the wrong thing, or to not show up and be the best coach and be the best leader that this team deserves. And my body literally started shutting down. And I went to a doctor, and I was told that I was suffering from adrenal fatigue, and I had to avoid stress, and I had to avoid intense exercise, and I had to avoid technology and sleep all day. I mean, it was just like, wait, hold on, this isn't going to work for my life. And then within the next few weeks, I had multiple situations sort of fall in my lap that were some of the most stressful conversations and situations that required me to be direct and to communicate. And I was facing all of the things that I was struggling with so much. So I started really praying and thinking about it and doing the work and seeing a therapist, and it brought me back to when I was 18 years old. And I was in an incredibly abusive relationship with a guy that was a little bit older than me, who had severe anger problems. And I remember being at a diner with my cousin, and he called, and I'm on the phone, and I didn't dare skip answering his phone and letting it go to voicemail. And I let the waiter was asking my cousin for the order, and he heard the waiter's voice. And when he heard that, he thought I was with another guy. He was certain of it. He was certain that I was cheating on him. And he told me I had to immediately drive and see him and prove to him that I wasn't with another guy. Then I was insecure. And so I got in the car and I drove over to see him. And we met in a parking lot of a gym that I used to work at. And I remember getting in a fight with him, and it was tense and it was stressful, and I was going along with everything that he said. And then he finally crossed the line. He was smoking a cigarette, and he threw that cigarette onto the floor of my car. It was my dad's car. He bought that car for me. It was burning on the floor of my carpeted car. And I said to him, get out of my car. Like, you can't be here. I don't want you to be here. Pick that up, get out. And that was pretty direct, pretty direct conversation, communication, standing up for myself. And in that moment, he lunged at me like this. And in doing so, his elbow hit the passenger side of the car, the window, and it cracked it. That's how hard he pulled his elbow back. And when he did that, I obviously started to freak out. It's my dad's car. I'm a kid. I'm a senior in high school. I'm freaking out at the fact that an incredibly violent thing just happened. And so he got out of the car and proceeded to start swearing. And I started screaming at him that I was going to call the police and that he can't treat me like this. And I was standing up for myself and setting boundaries. And he proceeded to take a baseball bat out of the back of his truck. And one by one, he took that bat to every single window of my car while I was inside of it. And I was wearing a white dress. I remember it like it was yesterday. And covered in blood because of the cut on his elbow. And I swear time stopped in that moment. It stopped in that moment. And one by one, he took a bat to each window until there was nothing left. There was no more glass, including the windshield of my car. Now, I don't know how I got out of the situation, to be honest with you, but I pulled away. And luckily, I only lived about 5 minutes from my house, or from that location. And I don't even know how. I think that mentally, when we go through traumas, that sounds like a really crazy story that probably none of you have experienced before. But I think that we can all think back to something in our life where we say to ourselves, I could never share that, or I never want to go back there, or I found out about this, I don't know what I would do, or what they would think, or I just don't even want to go there. I just want to block it. I just want to suppress it. But in working on myself, in doing personal development, in being forced to look at this lack of communication and this ability that I had to stand up for myself and stand up for my needs in my business, thanks to work with an incredible professional. I think therapists are amazing, life coaches, personal development, all of this stuff is for brave people who want to grow and want to thrive and want to prosper. I identified that my issue is not my issue. I was taught in that moment, in that trauma, that when you stand up for yourself, when you are direct about what you need and what your boundaries are, bad things happen. For you may have been as a child, that may have been in high school, that may have been in a relationship, that may have been something that happened with a parent, that may have been an embarrassing moment in the hallway or in gym class or at the prom or in college, whatever it may be. There's something that's blocking you. You don't have to share it on a team call. You don't have to go there, but it's not your fault. It's our body and our mind's way of protecting us and saying to us, I don't ever want you to go back to this place. So harden this up, or don't do that ever again. And it can get magnified into something as silly as forgiveness or communication or self-care or the disease to please. And guys, this is a people-based business. Your success, your income, your influence on the world, your happiness, your freedom, that depends on how you grow, on how you forgive, on how you overcome these things. And so whether personal development for you right now needs to be the slight edge or the compound effect or something light about habit building or time management, or it's something like the season that I'm in right now where I am unearthing some really deep stuff and I'm choosing to face it because I believe in my ability to help people and lead this team and make an impact on the world, personal development needs to be authentic to you. Where you are right now, you deserve it. You deserve to overcome the things that happen to you and turn them into things that happen for you. Because they happen for you for a reason. In no way do I want to say that any sort of trauma or abuse or any abandonment or anything of that nature is designed on purpose, but we can choose to turn it around and make it a purpose for us. And I don't know if I would be where I am without going through something like that. And I'm grateful for the fact that there's a little block in my business and my performance and my life that I can now address because I had the courage to go all the way back there and say to myself, wow, that's really irrational. And that's not okay that that happened to me. And that's not okay that that person did that. But now I know I don't just have an issue. ability to identify where my fear of communication comes from. And can you imagine? I can't imagine where I will be next month, next year, once I overcome this and I can confidently create boundaries and tell people what I need respectfully and honestly and directly and stand up for myself. And so I know there's something for you guys that is a weakness or a block that you have. So my action item for you guys right now is, I know I went a little bit over, I think, but my action item is to go to 16personalities.com. So that's the number 16personalities.com. And you're going to take a 10-minute quiz. It's my favorite personality test. It's based on Myers-Briggs. I guess it is Myers-Briggs, but it's done in a really cool way where once you're done with the test, you will never feel more understood than that test. That personality test is crazy, and it will tell you your strengths, your weaknesses, how that translates into your relationships and your job and your productivity. And that was the first step for me, was understanding that me being sensitive, or me, all of these good and bad things are not flaws or, bragging. It's who I am. It's who I was designed to be. And you were designed perfectly on purpose. And so once you take that test, you're going to get a 4-letter personality type. And what the next step is to search on Pinterest for your personality type. Now, what I want you guys to do is create a secret board, okay? So I have a secret board. It's called Her. And she is the me that I want to be in the next year. So anytime that I see, it's almost like a vision board, but for my personal development. So there's tons of different personal development tips and strategies on time management and overcoming fear of communication, or focus, whatever it may be for you, sharing your feelings, whatever it is. There's so many beautiful infographics and tips. Make a secret board on Pinterest and start to pin. You can search your Myers-Briggs personality letters, and there's tons of different little quotes and tips and tricks and little nuances and things about your personality type. And then from there, you can start to identify, maybe these are some of my weaknesses or the things that I struggle with, or where my personality, although it can be great in this way, gets derailed or unfocused or lost. And then there you can start to tailor your personal development. I know that we always look for personal development books, recommendations based on, what other coaches have read that are incredibly helpful. But for me in particular, self-care is something that hasn't really been addressed that much in terms of PD. And so I needed to go on Amazon myself. And I would highly encourage you, once you figure out where you need to do the work, where you deserve to do the work, look for books from, clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, people in the area of therapy, or people who will really dig into how to, step by step, fix that broken thing. Because very often, although a cool tweetable Pinterest quote can sometimes make you feel pumped up and energetic, it isn't always a strategy or a game plan for you to rationalize or to how to apply into your life. And so go on Amazon and find some books from therapists or life coaches or just experts on the areas that you're struggling with, because it's like a massage for your brain and your emotions. And although it might feel like you're going really deep, I want to treat the disease. I don't want to treat the symptom. And I can speak firsthand, and I'm sure you guys have felt this way. Once you have a deep breakthrough on the level of I am good enough, I am safe, I am worth sharing my opinions, those heavy life beliefs, from there, little problems tend to go away. And that's when you see people swing into seasons of incredible growth and greatness. So thank you guys for letting me share my story with you. Our final speaker, I am so excited. It is her birthday today. How generous is it of her to be spending her evening on her birthday with us? It is my pleasure to announce and to take notes from the one and only Nicole Durand. She signed up in August of 2015, and she has hit Success Club every single month since her very first month as a coach, making her a Success Club all-star and on her way to being a Success Club legend. Please get excited, get ready for 1-star diamond Nicole Durand. Are you ready, girl?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, guys?
You're great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chelsea. That is like a complete and total honor to be welcomed to this call by Chelsea Pearson. Never in a million years did I think that this was going to be my life, and I'm just so honored to be on this call and surrounded by women like Anna and Sami and Chelsea. It is quite unbelievable, to be honest. You're gonna have to bear with me. Public speaking makes me a little bit nervous, but I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight and be sharing some content with you. So my name is Nicole Durand. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. My upline coach is the beautiful and amazing Cara Hertlein. And we were perfect strangers to begin with, and now she is one of my best friends. Last spring, I graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree and a major in marketing. And I decided to just dive in full-time with coaching. A lot of people thought I was foolish and naive for that, and I think a lot of people still do. But there was something in my gut that just told me that this is what I need to be doing. And here I am almost a year later, still coaching full-time and loving every second of it. I absolutely love what I do. I love my team, and I love working with all of you guys. I've been 100% into this business and on my journey and there for my team since the very beginning, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't always been easy, that's for sure. I've had bad days, just like the rest of us. We all have bad days. The roller coaster is real. The highs are real, the lows are real, but the lows are all worth it for those incredible moments of high. I love what Ashley Molstead said on the last National Wake Up Call, that this isn't hard work, but you have to work hard. It's true. It's so true. You have to be consistent in this business. You have to show up every day, and you have to lead by example for your challengers and your coaches. You have to be the one that's willing to do the hard work first so that the people will follow in your footsteps. You have to persevere through those dips and celebrate the highs. So now I want to talk about celebrating those highs and the last vital behavior, which is recognition. It's our job to love on our people, and how incredible is that? Like, we get to celebrate and recognize people every single day, our challengers and our coaches, and I don't know if there's anything more rewarding than that, and anything that brings me more joy than recognizing people for their successes and playing even a small role in that. We get to celebrate our challengers, our coaches, and our teams as a whole, and there's always someone to recognize in this business. So whether you're a brand new coach, you can start by recognizing your challengers and their fitness accomplishments and their other successes in your challenge groups. And if you're so new that you don't even have any challengers yet, you can practice recognition on your family and your children, your spouses. You can practice recognizing your friends and all of the good things that they have done in their lives and the good things that they do for you. So that's a great place to start, is just by recognizing the people that are in your life that aren't necessarily a part of this business, but there's always someone to recognize. So don't worry if you don't have a big team yet. Just start with your challengers and recognize them until they want to join your team. Recognition is the sincere celebration of achievement. Sincerity and recognition is so important. You want your recognition to come across in an authentic way, and you want it to be genuine. The first 3 vital behaviors really focus on improving your journey and bringing new people into the business. But the 4th vital behavior is unique in that we are focusing on the people that have already trusted us and invested in us in this business. It's so important to focus on those people that we've already brought into the business and not always be focusing on bringing new people in to our realm and our network, but be loving on the people that are already here with us and celebrating with them. Recognition is so important because it lets our people know we love, appreciate, and value them. And like I said, it's so cool that our job is to love on people and our challengers and our coaches. And it also helps other people that are watching mirror those goals and see that success is attainable. It's not something that only a certain percentage of the network can accomplish. It's something that your friends and the people on your team are accomplishing as well. So for example, when someone on a team hits diamond, and maybe they're the first person on that team to hit diamond, when people on that team see one person hit diamond, they know it's more attainable, and often a lot of other people start to hit diamond on that team because they see that it is within their reach. And if someone on the team can do it, then other people can do it as well. And that's why recognition is so important. We can't just glaze over these accomplishments. We really have to pull them out and love on them for their success. It also helps people stay excited and plugged into what they're doing because it provides accountability. And like I said, everyone loves to be loved on. I know I always look forward to the recognition, and whether people say it or not, everyone loves to be shouted out and to be recognized. But it's so important to be organized and consistent in your recognition. The worst thing that you can do is to recognize someone for something one month, say Emerald, and then to not do the same for another person. It's important to have a system of what you're going to recognize, especially for things like Success Club starters. Like, for example, are you going to recognize your people every single month of Success Club starters, or just the third month? So you really want to come up with a system for those hard and fast things like Success Club starters, Emerald, Diamond, etc. And then you can kind of fill in the in-between with things such as Challenger transformations and other goals that your team and your challengers have hit. So I wanted to give you 3 steps that you could take away from tonight's call in creating meaningful recognition. And they're super simple, but they might help you to form your recognition moving forward. So step 1 is to write the recognition. And for me, I really like to sit down and write meaningful recognition when my energy levels are high. So that might mean first thing of my workday that I sit down and I get to recognition, or that might mean that it's right after my workout, or whatever the case may be. I want to have focused time where I am pouring into that person with love and writing a really awesome post for them that will be personalized to them and will speak to their heart. I like to pretend I'm speaking directly to that person when I write my recognition. What's going to mean the most to them? Will I bring up their family? Will I bring up another small goal that they've accomplished because of this larger goal? Will I bring up their spouse? Anything that you can tie in that you know is going to hit home with them and make them feel really special and that's going to be meaningful to them on a personal level, I think is super important to include. Another tip about writing recognition is that you want to kind of dumb it down for the general public. You want to take out any terminology that might be only known by the network and by Beachbody and kind of replace terms like Emerald with this person has built a team of their own. Or instead of Success Club starter and they've reached Success Club every month, not the general public doesn't understand that and they can't relate to it. So it might be more beneficial to say they've helped at least 3 people on their journey this month. Something like that where everyone can relate and it's not just going to be picked up by the network. And then at the very end of my recognition post, I like to add a call to action. So I'll add a little plug, like, if you know so-and-so, could you send her some love today? And that really helps to not only bring in teammates with their congratulations and whatnot, but it helps the people that are watching from outside of the organization. If they know this person, they can see that they're having some success and some traction in this business, and they can comment below congratulating that person for their success. Step 2, one more for step 1. You also want to utilize white space in all of your posts, not just your recognition, but it's super important to have white space in your posts so that they're easily digestible. Step 2 is to create a graphic. This is my favorite part. I really have a love for graphic design, and this is something that I can really tap into my creativity, but graphics aren't for everyone, so I encourage you to keep it simple, but a visual component is really key. Because a visual component is going, whether it just be a photo or a graphic or whatever, it's going to stop the scroll of people who are watching, and it will entice them to actually read the post. So it's important to have a strong, clear, sharp visual graphic. You want to keep it simple using PicMonkey or Canva. I recommend that you only use like a small amount of text on the actual graphic, maybe their name and then possibly the title or the accomplishment that they've had. And just a couple of tips for graphics. You want to use a sharp, clear image, like I had said. And if there is a lot of distracting color in the graphic, it sometimes good, like if there's multiple pictures and there's a lot of color going on and it doesn't really mesh well together, you can put a black and white filter on. I think it makes it look more cohesive and professional. And then you want to, or a good tip is to use contrasting text. So you could use a script text for their name and then a plain text for their title, or vice versa. But I think that's really, it draws the eye, and it's really eye-catching. And if graphics aren't your thing, don't feel afraid to outsource, or like I said, just keep it super simple. You can even do it on your phone using certain apps, but it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. The simpler the better, as long as it's stopping the people scrolling and encourages them to read the actual post. So step 3 is to go ahead and post your recognition. Now you want to decide if this post is going to be private or public. And I think a good rule of thumb is, whether you're talking about the business, I think most coaches are comfortable with public recognition. I think they like it. So public recognition, I think, is always encouraged for the business. I mean, you're talking about coaches and business goals and so forth. But whenever you're sharing something about a challenger or a transformation, I think it's a good practice to check in with that challenger and just double check, or even that coach, double check that they're okay with you sharing their accomplishment or their transformation photo or whatever it may be before you go public with it. I like to post on my personal page, and I will tag, obviously, the person being recognized, but I'll also tag my upline coach and the person being recognized, their team, if it's applicable, like if it was a team goal that they accomplished together. This way, that gets a lot of eyes on the post by tagging all of those people, and your network sees it being on your personal page, and then their network sees it as well as you tag them. And I think a really important thing to do is make recognition a priority, especially on Thursday mornings. I know for myself, the night before a rank advancement is kind of like Christmas Eve. Kara does a really good job of shouting me out first thing in the morning. So I try to mirror that with my team and my coaches. I want to show them that I'm excited and that they can wake up to some awesome recognition, a beautiful graphic, and some really nice words. I think that's a really important thing, is to prioritize recognition. And another thing you can do is share your recognition to team pages. So your personal team, the Shred Nation boardroom, whatever, just share your post, say a couple of words, tag the person, and then that is going to encourage more eyes on the post. It promotes community, and it's more proof of what is attainable for the entire network when they get to see their teammates accomplishing these goals. So in my eyes, recognition is a win-win-win-win-win. It makes the people being recognized feel special, and it shows those who are watching that those people have had success. So their family and friends that don't necessarily understand and might not really believe that they're getting anywhere with this business, they can see it firsthand because somebody else is pointing to them and saying, hey, look, this person has been successful. So it proves that they are having some sort of success in this business. And another thing is, it shows that you as a coach are helping people attain success and reach goals in this business. So it's also reflecting on your ability as a coach, which I think is really important. And then lastly, it motivates others to follow in their footsteps. It motivates people to follow and to reach those goals as well, because they're going to be excited about that recognition as well. And it shows people that these goals aren't big, hairy, scary goals. They're very attainable, and they can achieve them as well. So this week, I know we've given you a couple of homework assignments, but I challenge you to create authentic and genuine recognition. People are looking for a safe place, somewhere they can feel loved and appreciated. We show that when we provide recognition. We show that we provide that with recognition. So thank you guys so much for listening to Shred Nation. I'm actually the closer. Thank you, Anna, Sami, and Chelsea for sharing. Thank you, Chelsea, for being vulnerable and real with us. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys had some great takeaways. Oh, there's Rob. Okay, you
Nicole,
guys have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was incredible. We appreciate you, especially sharing on your birthday. Again, it just shows where your loyalty is and how important sharing is. So thank you so much for doing that. Guys, I hope that I know Chelsea was taking notes after she spoke and taking notes this entire night. Some really great examples of these basic things so well and how to use them to be successful. So I hope that you take at least one, if not all 4 of the challenges that were issued to you, and take action. Like, do it tonight. If there's something that you feel excited about, do it tonight. And if there are other things that you know that you feel that you need to do, make sure that you do not let too much of this week go by before they're done. You have the motivation, you have the tools, you have the skill set to change your business, to change the lives of others. So I challenge you to go and do that, to make the rest of March awesome. Reach whatever goals you're working towards and get yourself set up to continue to grow your business in May. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon.